There are moments in life that look small on the outside, but shake something deep inside your soul forever. Imagine standing in a room full of people trying to smile, trying to stay calm, trying not to let your emotions show, and then suddenly someone points at your face, laughs, makes a cruel comment, and 15 people hear it at the exact same time. Some stayed silent, some looked away, some laughed quietly. But what nobody in that room understood was this: heaven heard every single word that was spoken over you. And tonight, you need to understand why this moment was not random. Because there are people listening to this right now who have been trapped for years by humiliation, rejection, mockery, and silent emotional attacks that slowly destroyed their confidence while everyone else acted like it was just a joke. But it was never just a joke. It was a trap. A dangerous trap designed to make you question your worth, your beauty, your future, your purpose, and even your voice. The enemy always knows that if your confidence dies, your destiny becomes easier to steal. That is why some of the deepest wounds in your life did not come from strangers. They came publicly, unexpectedly, and in front of witnesses. And what makes this message urgent is that many people are still carrying words spoken over them years ago. One sentence changed how they see themselves in the mirror. One embarrassing moment changed how they speak in public. One cruel laugh created years of insecurity. But listen carefully, because what happened to you may actually be proof that your life carries something valuable. People attack what threatens them. Darkness targets light. And some of you have been wondering why the attacks became more personal the closer you got to growth, healing, or purpose. That is why you cannot leave this message halfway through. Because before this speech ends, you are going to understand why that painful moment did not destroy you, why heaven allowed you to survive it, and how the very trap meant to shame you may become the reason your life changes forever. There are moments in life when a single sentence spoken in public cuts deeper than years of private pain. You can still remember the atmosphere, the faces around you, the uncomfortable silence after the comment was made. Someone looked directly at your face, said something cruel, and suddenly you felt exposed in front of 15 people as if the ground beneath you disappeared. What hurt the most was not only the words themselves, but the feeling that nobody defended you. In that moment, your confidence began to shake, your thoughts turned against you, and a dangerous voice started whispering inside your mind that maybe you were not enough. This is how the trap begins. It never starts with chains around your hands. It starts with chains around your identity. The enemy understands that if your self-worth is broken publicly, you may begin destroying yourself privately. That comment was not just about embarrassment. It was an attempt to plant shame so deeply inside you that every future opportunity would feel terrifying. Some people listening to this have spent years replaying one humiliating moment over and over again. You learned to hide your smile, avoid attention, stay quiet in groups, and doubt your own value because somebody else's words became louder than your own truth. But what you did not realize is that heaven was watching the entire scene differently. While people saw weakness, heaven saw endurance. While people saw humiliation, heaven saw a soul surviving emotional warfare without becoming bitter. The painful truth is that public attacks often happen to people carrying uncommon purpose because darkness tries to stop greatness before it fully awakens. And the moment you finally refuse to believe the lies spoken over your life is the moment the trap begins to lose its power completely. Most people believe painful moments are random accidents, but sometimes a public humiliation becomes a spiritual warning that something greater is happening behind the scenes. Think about it carefully. Out of all the things someone could have talked about, they chose your face, your appearance, the very thing connected to your identity and confidence. And they did it in front of 15 people, not privately, because humiliation becomes more powerful when witnesses are present. The goal was never just to insult you. The goal was to make you feel small in front of others so that fear would begin controlling your behavior afterward. That is why some people stop speaking confidently after one embarrassing moment. Some stop posting pictures. Some stop chasing opportunities. Some even isolate themselves because they secretly believe everyone sees them through the lens of that painful comment. What looked like a simple interaction was actually the beginning of a dangerous mental prison. And many people never escape because they spend years trying to recover from words they pretended did not hurt. But there is something important you must understand tonight. Heaven notices attacks that are designed to crush a person's spirit. Every mocking word spoken against you revealed more about the condition of their heart than the condition of your worth. People who are comfortable humiliating others publicly often carry darkness privately. And sometimes the reason the attack felt so intense is because your presence already carried something powerful that threatened insecure people around you. Light exposes what darkness wants hidden. Confidence exposes jealousy. Purpose exposes emptiness. This is why attacks often increase when you are close to transformation. The enemy wants you distracted by shame so you never recognize your own value. But the fact that you survived the humiliation, kept moving forward, and are still searching for healing proves something important about your spirit. The trap was designed to silence you permanently, yet somehow your soul kept fighting to rise again, even after everyone thought the damage was already done. The most dangerous traps in life are the ones that do not look dangerous in the beginning. They arrive disguised as jokes, opinions, criticism, or casual comments, but their real purpose is much darker. The moment someone publicly embarrassed you, something invisible tried to enter your mind. It was not only pain, it was self-doubt. It was insecurity. It was the quiet fear that maybe people would never respect you again. This is how emotional traps operate. They convince you to become your own enemy after somebody else wounds you. Long after the crowd forgets the moment, you continue reliving it in silence. You analyze the words repeatedly, wonder why nobody defended you, and slowly begin changing who you are just to avoid ever feeling that humiliation again. Some people become quieter, some hide their personality, some stop trusting others completely. And without realizing it, they build an invisible prison around themselves, one painful memory at a time. That is why this trap is so dangerous. It does not attack your body first. It attacks your identity. Because once a person loses confidence in who they are, fear becomes easier to control than chains. But there is a reason you are hearing this message now. You were never meant to carry the weight of somebody else's cruelty for the rest of your life. The words spoken against you were real, but they were never powerful enough to define your future unless you accepted them as truth. And many people accidentally surrender their destiny by agreeing with voices that were never sent to guide them. What happened to you may have been painful, but it also revealed something important. Not everybody can handle the presence of someone who carries hidden strength, hidden purpose, or hidden potential. Sometimes people attack what they secretly envy. Sometimes they mock what they do not understand. And sometimes the reason your spirit was targeted so intensely is because there is something valuable inside you that fear wanted to bury before it could fully awaken. But every day you continue standing, healing, and refusing to disappear becomes proof that the trap failed to destroy the person you were becoming. What most people fail to understand about public humiliation is that the real damage often happens after the moment is over. Everyone sees the laughter, the awkward silence, the embarrassment on your face for a few seconds, but nobody sees the war that begins later inside your mind. They do not see you replaying the scene while trying to sleep at night. They do not see the way your confidence slowly changes when entering a room full of people again. They do not see how one cruel comment can follow someone for years, shaping decisions, relationships, and even dreams. This is why so many people underestimate emotional wounds. Bruises on the body eventually disappear, but humiliation can quietly attach itself to a person's identity if healing never takes place. Some people become experts at pretending they are fine while secretly feeling broken every time they remember what happened. And the dangerous part is that eventually the pain stops sounding like another person's voice and starts sounding like your own thoughts. You begin criticizing yourself before others can do it first. You lower your standards, hide your gifts, and expect rejection because shame trained your mind to prepare for disappointment. But what if the entire situation carried a deeper meaning than you realized? What if the attack was not proof of your weakness, but evidence that your spirit carried something strong enough to attract resistance? Darkness rarely wastes energy attacking empty things. People often target those who carry presence, influence, beauty, confidence, or hidden purpose because insecure hearts feel uncomfortable around someone they cannot control. And many listeners need to hear this clearly tonight. Surviving humiliation without losing your humanity is a form of strength that most people never develop. You could have become cold, hateful, or completely disconnected from others after what happened, yet something inside you still wants healing instead of revenge. That matters more than you know, because the people who eventually rise the highest are often the ones who first learned how to survive seasons where they felt misunderstood, mocked, and emotionally isolated, while nobody around them recognized the silent battle they were fighting every single day. There comes a moment in many people's lives when the attacks suddenly become more personal, more intense, and more emotionally exhausting than before. It feels confusing because you may not have changed anything outwardly, yet criticism increases, misunderstandings grow, and people begin targeting your confidence, your appearance, your voice, or your identity itself. What many fail to realize is that these moments often appear right before a major transformation begins. Pressure increases when purpose is close. Darkness becomes louder when light is preparing to rise. And some of you listening to this message have been wondering why the humiliation, rejection, and emotional battles became stronger exactly when you were trying to grow into a better version of yourself. The answer may be deeper than you think. Sometimes the greatest sign that your life carries meaning is the amount of resistance trying to convince you to quit. The trap was never only about embarrassing you publicly. The trap was designed to stop your future by damaging your spirit before your breakthrough could arrive. If fear could make you hide, then your voice would never reach people who needed it. If shame could destroy your confidence, then your gifts would remain buried. If pain could make you isolate yourself, then your purpose would slowly disappear in silence. This is why you must pay attention to what survived inside you after everything that happened. Despite the tears, despite the overthinking, despite the nights where you questioned your value, there is still something within you refusing to fully surrender. That quiet strength is not accidental. It is evidence that your spirit was built for more than the pain you experienced. Many people break permanently after public humiliation, yet you are still searching for healing, still searching for meaning, still hoping your life can become greater than the words spoken against you. That alone is powerful. And perhaps the reason the enemy worked so hard to wound your confidence is because your future self carries influence, wisdom, and strength that could inspire others to survive their own darkest moments. Sometimes the people who are chosen to heal others must first survive battles that almost convinced them they were unworthy of being seen at all. Before this message ends, there is something you must understand clearly because it could change the way you see your entire life. The painful moment that embarrassed you in front of others was never supposed to become your permanent identity. Too many people allow one humiliating experience to define the rest of their story. They carry old shame into new seasons, old fear into new opportunities, and old voices into places where those voices no longer belong. And slowly they begin living far below their true potential because they are still emotionally trapped inside a moment that should have only been temporary. But tonight something needs to break. The lies spoken over your life cannot continue controlling your future unless you keep feeding them with belief. Yes, the comment hurt. Yes, the humiliation felt real. Yes, the silence of the people around you may have wounded you almost as much as the insult itself. But your pain was never proof that you were weak. It was proof that you are human. And surviving emotional pain, without losing the desire to keep going, is a strength many people never recognize in themselves. Some of the strongest souls are the ones who learned how to stand back up after being emotionally shattered in front of others. What happened to you revealed the cruelty in certain people, but it also revealed the resilience hidden inside you. Because even after everything, your heart is still searching for healing instead of destruction. That matters more than you realize. The dangerous trap was designed to make you hate yourself, doubt yourself, and disappear quietly from the world before your purpose fully awakened. But the fact that you are still here listening to these words means something inside you never completely accepted defeat. And maybe that is the real reason heaven allowed you to survive the humiliation. Not so you would spend your life reliving it, but so one day you could become living proof that painful words do not have the final authority over a person chosen to rise beyond them. The moment you finally stop seeing yourself through the eyes of those who wounded you is the moment your freedom truly begins. In the end, this message was never only about one cruel comment, one embarrassing moment, or one painful memory from your past. It was about the hidden battle taking place inside your spirit after the world tried to make you feel small. So many people are walking through life carrying invisible wounds created by public humiliation, rejection, mockery, and emotional attacks that nobody else fully understands. They smile in front of others while secretly fighting thoughts that tell them they are not enough. But tonight, you must remember something powerful. The words spoken over your life were never greater than the purpose placed inside you. What happened to you may have wounded your confidence, but it did not cancel your destiny. The trap was designed to keep you trapped in shame forever. Yet you survived. You kept breathing. You kept moving forward. You kept searching for healing even when the pain became heavy. And sometimes the strongest people are not the ones who were never broken, but the ones who refused to stay broken after life tried to destroy them emotionally. Every tear, every lonely night, every moment you questioned your worth was seen by heaven, even when nobody around you noticed your suffering. And maybe one day you will realize that the same pain which almost destroyed you became the fire that transformed you into someone stronger, wiser, and impossible to silence. Because people can laugh at your appearance, attack your confidence, and misunderstand your heart, but they cannot stop what was meant to rise inside you unless you surrender your belief in yourself completely. So do not allow temporary humiliation to become a permanent prison. Do not keep replaying voices that were never meant to define your future. The chapter of shame must end here. And as this message comes to a close, remember this deeply. The moment you stop seeing yourself through the eyes of those who hurt you and finally begin seeing yourself through the eyes of purpose, healing, and truth, your entire life begins to change forever.